What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Made to Excel Fitness Podcast, the fitness podcast for you, by you. I'm your host, as always, Mark Torres, and in today's episode 26, it is a state of emergency. Mark Wahlberg is on another Instagram tirade, and it needs to be stopped at all costs. Plus a Q&A, what is the best training split for you to follow, and what are the best exercises for your abs, and as always, the weekly follow-up. Let's talk about it all. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It is Monday, August 31st. Welcome back to the Made to Excel Fitness Podcast. It is about to be September, which means the spooky season is upon us. And if you followed me for any extended period of time, you know I absolutely love the spooky season, the holiday season. I am sure to consume copious amounts of pumpkin-flavored items over the next 2 months, so I'm very, very excited for that, and hopefully you guys are as well. And this is the jersey that I wanted to wear 3 episodes back, but I didn't have it 3 episodes back, so I'm wearing it for episode 26. Such is life. Sometimes things just don't go according to plan. So for today's episode, it is a state of emergency episode because I had a different episode in line already to do, and then Mark Wahlberg started posting a bunch of crazy videos on Instagram that I felt like they needed addressing, so I had to slide it in here. This is a third episode on Mark Wahlberg for this podcast, so I have great apologies for anybody who is a massive Mark Wahlberg fan, which I consider myself to be a pretty big Mark Wahlberg fan, so this is an apology to myself as well. But there's 4 different videos that he's posted over the past week or so that I think need some addressing. So I'm going to pop them in here so you guys can see them and kind of start to talk about them a little bit. But without further ado, here's video number 1.
Most of the comments that we've been getting about our training have been about this guy, Mr. Mark Lopez. This guy is an absolute machine. But do you want to explain to him what Dr. Vincent has you doing? But people are asking, they see how much progress you're making, how much weight you've lost, how strong you're getting in the gym. Explain to them what doctor's got you doing.
Doctors got me on intermittent fasting.
It's not really intermittent fasting though.
Complete fasting.
Complete fasting.
And now,
What does that mean?
you and everybody thought we'd have no energy, right? No, we wouldn't be able to work out because you're not eating.
When was the last time you ate food?
Monday night.
Monday night. Okay, so it's Thursday morning. All right, explain that.
How do you feel?
Feel good.
You feel strong?
I feel strong.
Still kicking it in the gym?
Still kicking butt in the gym.
Yeah.
No, I'm not hungry. I don't feel hungry. So
He always kicks butt in the gym. First time I ever went to an F45, I walked in the gym and this guy was working out. He was absolutely killing it during the exercises, but he was also killing it in between the exercises. In the rest period, he was still going. So people are asking, he doesn't count calories or watch the scale, but he's an absolute machine.
So, this is the Markception podcast episode because my name is Mark, and I'm talking about Mark Wahlberg, talk about another Mark. So, 3 layers of Mark here, Markception. So, this first video that he posted was about this guy named Mark Lopez, which his Instagram handle is from 3x to fit. So, this is a guy who's been on a fitness journey already. And according to that first video, it sounds as if Mark Wahlberg saw him working out at one of his F45 gyms, which I don't know if he's an owner of or an investor of, but he saw him at one of the F45 gyms working out, was inspired by him, and eventually, I don't know at exactly what point, invited him to be in his crew, to work out with him and to learn from him and things of that nature. And in this particular video, Mark Wahlberg asked the doctor, who's also part of that crew, and the doctor never gets tagged, at least not that I found, so I don't know exactly who the doctor is. I don't know exactly what the doctor's qualifications are. I don't know anything about this doctor. And that's a good point to bring up. I would like to preface this also by saying I'm a personal trainer, so I can tell you fitness things. I can make a workout for you. I can tell you what are the best workouts, what are the not so great workouts, what workouts you should be doing. I am not a registered dietitian. By any stretch of the imagination, I did not go to school to be a registered dietitian. So there are people out there that can actually make recommendations for you in a nutritional aspect. I am not one of those people. And I talk about nutrition a lot on this podcast because it is a big component of fitness, obviously, of course. So I do talk about it a lot. but I talk about these general kind of ideas, these general themes. I'm never going to tell anybody to do anything specific as it pertains to nutrition because that is outside of my scope of practice. So I talk about nutrition a lot because it is important. Whether or not you decide to implement any of these general ideas that I talk about is completely up to you. So do not take anything that I say from the nutrition standpoint as gospel, and do not feel like I am prescribing anything to you because that is outside of my scope of practice. But these are just my opinions on the matter at hand. So when it comes to this doctor, I don't know what his qualifications are either. He could be in the same boat as I am. He could be like a pediatrician. I don't know. I don't know anything about this doctor. But Mark Wahlberg says, hey, doc, tell them what you have Mark Lopez doing. And Mark Lopez says, I'm doing intermittent fasting. And Mark's like, well, it's not really intermittent fasting. You're doing a straight up fast. And he posted this on Thursday morning, and Mark Lopez says that he had not eaten food since Monday night. So it's been, 3 days that he's eaten. And the doctor says, well, we have you on a complete fast. You didn't think you'd have energy. You thought you'd be hungry. You thought you'd be groggy in the gym. And Mark Lopez says, nope, I feel great. I'm not really that hungry. I feel strong in the gym. Everything's hunky-dory. That's great. So, video number 2.
The injury and fatigue. So today my body demanded a little extra rest and recovery. I ended up sleeping 11 and a half hours, so I lost what would normally be the 3-hour workout. With a lot of time, I now had an hour and 15. So instead of taking a break in between each exercises, I did a finisher in between each exercise and ended up actually doing more finishers than I would have and a much longer extended workout than I would have. So I was giving everybody a little bit of crap, including the doctor, and then he went on the Versatile and absolutely killed it against the competitor. Mark stepped up big time on the skier. Ace went crazy, actually did the overhead squat.
Yeah.
Wow. Went pretty damn heavy. And Liam, Gabby was the coach. He was coaching.
I was motivated today.
He's motivating people.
Motivated.
Doing all the other bits himself, But I am very impressed with these boys today. They got after it. Big Friday. Mark's looking forward to eating on Sunday. Rest day coming up tomorrow. And come on, aspire to be better.
Yeah.
No matter whatever time you got, get it in, get it done. You'll always feel better. I was feeling like crap today after the workout. Felt like I could do anything. So get it in. All right? God bless. Inspired to be better.
So this second video, Mark Wahlberg starts by saying, due to fatigue, due to stress, I have decided to take a little bit of a shorter day today. He says, my 3-hour workout, I went past that. I'm only going to work out for an hour and 15 minutes. And I was under the impression that Mark Wahlberg worked out multiple times a day. So does he have one 3-hour workout and then another workout later at night? I don't know for sure. But the concept of a 3-hour workout is absolutely fucking insane. 3 hours in the gym is ridiculous. If you are, and to play devil's advocate here, Mark Wahlberg is a multimillionaire. He gets paid to be in a incredible shape. So for him, if he's got the time to do it, sure, go ahead and do a 3-hour workout. People that are competing for money, top level bodybuilders, all those kind of guys, yeah, work out for 3 hours. But for, just a general fitness goer to work out for 3 hours, that is so much time. That is so unnecessary. Nobody needs to do that amount of working out. And then in this video was posted Friday, he says, Mark Lopez is excited to eat on Sunday. So it has been now 4 days since Mark Lopez was fasting, and he looks like he has 2 more days to go until Sunday. So a 6 or 7, well, he ate Monday night, so if he's going to eat Sunday, a 6-day fast, which is incredible. But 3-hour workout kind of sounds insane, and he's putting all his buddies through this. I don't know exactly if it is 3 hours, if that's just an embellishment for Instagram. Who knows? But that's kind of a crazy number. So, video number 3.
Day 6, how you feeling?
I feel good.
You gonna eat today?
Yes, I'm gonna eat today.
This is a very exciting time.
I'm very excited.
How many kilos have you lost so far?
Oh, I lost about 10 kilos.
Wow, in this one fast, this 1 week. Incredible. We also got our boy Tommy here. This is his first day working out with me in the gym. He's got a municipal gear. Our doctors put him on the D-Strong straps. He's got the pre-workout igniter. Now he's in shape. How you feeling?
I can't feel my fingers.
We can't feel his fingers. We haven't done anything yet. So we're just getting started. Ace ran for 30 seconds on the treadmill, and he's sweating, and he already wants time off. The doctor did 1 minute on the Versa Climber, and he said he needs a week's rest. We're about to step it up today. Team Municipal Cowboy.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to do?
I think he's gonna kill it.
And Marky, we eat today?
Yes, we
Sashimi and miso soup?
Sashimi and miso soup.
Look at.
So in video number 3, it is officially Sunday because he says Mark Lopez is going to eat tonight. So it's been 6 days since Mark Lopez started fasting. He's still in the gym, still working out, still going hard, especially if he is working out for 3 hours a day, which it seems like Mark Wahlberg kind of insinuated that in the previous video. And he's asked Mark Lopez, how many kilos have you lost? And I don't know if this was a... he misspoke when he said kilos and not pounds, but he said... Mark Lopez said, I lost about 10 kilos. So 10 kilos is 22 pounds. So he lost 22 pounds over the 6 days. No way to know for sure. I don't know the nuances of this. I don't know anything about the intricacies. I don't know anything outside of what Mark Wahlberg posts on Instagram. So he made it sound like he lost 22 pounds over the course of 6 days, which is obviously extreme weight loss in such a short period of time. But who knows? Nobody knows really for sure. And then he talks about some new guy named Tommy, the guy in the Lakers shorts. Mark Wahlberg has him looking like a fucking Decepticon with his blood flow restriction bands on his arms, on his legs. He looks ridiculous, and they haven't done anything. And he says, I can't feel my fingers. Mark Wahlberg says, we haven't even done anything yet. So if you listen to the blood flow restriction episode, which was episode 24, you should probably use the blood flow restrictions as a finisher, for a couple exercises, not a whole workout. And it seems like Mark Wahlberg has this guy doing it for the whole workout, which doesn't seem like maybe the smartest thing to do, but what do I know? And then he goes on and he starts ball busting everybody else. That's just how Mark Wahlberg is. And finally, last but not least, last video.
How was that meal yesterday?
Oh, that meal was anticlimactic.
Wow.
Man, I could go another week with fasting. I'm working harder than everybody else in here in the gym. Doc ain't shit.
What? You got more energy, more power, more dedication and commitment than everybody else. Another week, let's go. Let's drop another 10 pounds. Right? What's going on over there, Ace? You demoing the exercises?
Right. See this, Lopez. See this one.
Tommy, how you feeling after the workout?
See that.
Can barely walk, but
Barely walking. Good. He still came back. Whoa! Alright, let's go. Mark is pumped up. The energy, the guy who's fasting, the power. Watch this guy today on the demos, on the story. He's going to another level. Let's go!
So at this point, this is the final of the 4 videos. This must be Monday morning. Mark Lopez had eaten the night before, and he says that meal was anticlimactic. I could have gone another week not eating. I could have done without that meal. I feel better than ever. And this is where I don't know if they misspoke or not, because Mark Lopez and Wahlberg both say 10 pounds and not 10 kilos, which makes a big difference, 10 versus 22 pounds. Regardless, he lost a ton of weight. Even if it is just 10 pounds in 6 days, it's still a massive amount of weight loss. And he talks to Tommy. Tommy's the guy who looked like the Decepticon in the video prior. And he says, Tommy, how you feeling after the workout? Tommy's like, I can't barely feel my legs right now. Whatever. And that's pretty much it. And then they once again go back to ball busting. So there's a lot to kind of dissect over the course of these 4 videos. Once again, I do not know the nuances. I do not know the intricacies of what exactly they're doing. Outside of what they post on Instagram, I don't know exactly what kind of fast Mark Lopez is doing. Is he doing a complete fast? Is he doing a water fast where he's only drinking water? Is he doing a juice fast? Can he drink juice? Can he drink coffee? Can he drink... There's bone broth fasts. They could have made their own kind of fast. There's a bunch of different things that they could have done. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I don't know exactly, like I said, the intricacies of what they're doing. So I can't pretend like I'm an expert in these things. I don't know for sure. But I do want to talk about the effects that fasting has on your body. And it's going to vary from person to person. It's going to vary from whoever you talk to. So here's a couple things that I found on the internet. This is from healthline.com. A fast is typically defined as the abstinence from all or some foods or drinks for a set period of time. There are many different ways of fasting. In general, most types of fasts are performed over 24 to 72 hours. So 1 to 3 days. Obviously, Mark Lopez fasted for 6 days. And it sounds like they might do another week or so of fasting. I don't know if he's going to do... Once again, I don't know the intricacies. Is he going to do 6 days, eat on the 7th day, do another 6 days, eat on the 7th day? That's totally a possibility. So this Healthline episode is 8 benefits to fasting. Number 1 is promotes blood sugar control by reducing insulin resistance. Several studies have found that fasting may improve blood sugar control, which could be especially useful for those at risk of diabetes. In fact, one study in 10 people with type 2 diabetes showed that the short-term intermittent fasting significantly decreased blood sugar levels. Meanwhile, another review found that both intermittent fasting and alternate day fasting were as effective as limiting calorie intake at reducing insulin resistance. So that's interesting. But once again, these are short-term fasts. Intermittent fast and alternate day fasting. These are not long-term fasts like Mark Lopez is doing for 6 days. 1 to 3 days at most, or alternating days. Number 2, promotes better health by fighting inflammation. One study in 50 healthy adults showed that intermittent fasting for 1 month significantly decreased levels of inflammatory markers. Number 3, may enhance heart health by improving blood pressure, triglycerides, and cholesterol levels. One small study revealed that 8 weeks of alternate day fasting reduced levels of bad LDL cholesterol and blood triglycerides by 25 and 32% respectively. Once again, alternate day fasting, not long-term fast. Number 4, may boost brain function and prevent neurodegenerative disorders. One study in mice showed that practicing intermittent fasting for 11 months improved both brain function and brain structure. Other animal studies have reported that fasting could protect brain health and increase the generation of nerve cells to help enhance cognitive function. 5, aids weight loss by limiting calorie intake and boosting metabolism. Many dieters pick up fasting looking for a quick and easy way to drop a few pounds. Theoretically, abstaining from all or certain foods and beverages should decrease your overall calorie intake, which could lead to increased weight loss over time. Theoretically, abstaining from all or certain foods should decrease your overall calorie intake. So they're saying, theoretically, if you stopped eating, if you ate nothing versus eating something, you will have a lower calorie intake. Yeah, no shit. And which could lead to increased weight loss over time. Yeah, no shit. If you're in a calorie deficit, you lose weight. If you don't eat, you're in a calorie deficit because you're not eating calories. Number 6, increases growth hormone secretion, which is vital for growth, metabolism, weight loss, and muscle strength. Several studies have found that fasting could naturally increase HGH levels. One study in 11 healthy adults showed that fasting for 24 hours significantly increased levels of HGH. Number 7, could delay aging and extend longevity. In one study, rats that fasted every other day experienced a delayed rate of aging and lived 83% longer than rats that didn't fast. 83% longer is a long time. So they're insinuating that somebody who lives for 100 years could live for 183 years. Whatever. Number 8 is may aid in cancer prevention and increase the effectiveness of chemotherapy, which is obviously a great positive. And then the safety and side effects of benefit or from fasting, according to this article, is despite the long list of possible health benefits associated with fasting, it may not be right for everyone. If you suffer from diabetes or low blood sugar, fasting could lead to spikes and crashes in your blood sugar levels, which could be dangerous. It's best to talk to your doctor first if you have any underlying health conditions or are planning to fast for more than 24 hours. Additionally, fasting is not generally recommended without medical supervision for older adults, adolescents, or people who are underweight. If you decide to try fasting, be sure to stay well hydrated and fill your diet with nutrient-dense foods during your eating periods to maximize the potential health benefits. Additionally, if fasting for longer periods, try to minimize intense physical activity and get plenty of rest. So it says, consult a doctor. Mark Wahlberg technically has a doctor there. We don't know what kind of doctor he is. Eat good, nutritious foods when you're eating. Don't try to fast for long periods of time if you are going to be in the gym, which Mark Lopez is in the gym, especially if he's working out for 3 hours, at least 5 days a week, and he's fasting for 6 days. So he's doing the exact opposite of what this particular thing is telling them to do. And then this different article says the dangers of fasting for weight loss. So those are 8 benefits. Now these are the dangers of fasting for weight loss. When you dramatically reduce your calorie intake, you will lose weight. Thank you. But it can also cause all kinds of health problems, including muscle loss. Further, when you start fasting, your body goes into conservation mode, burning calories more slowly. Keep in mind that the initial weight loss on a fast is primarily fluid or water weight, not fat. And when you go back to eating, any lost weight usually gets a return ticket back. Not only do most people regain weight lost on a fast, they tend to add a few extra pounds because a slower metabolism makes it easier for them to gain weight. Worse, the weight is regained is likely to be all fat. Lost muscle has to be added back at the gym. Side effects of fasting include dizziness, headaches, low blood sugar, muscle aches, weakness, fatigue. Prolonged fasting can lead to anemia, a weakened immune system, liver and kidney problems, and irregular heartbeat. Fasting can also result in vitamin and mineral deficiencies, muscle breakdown, and diarrhea. When you drink laxative concoctions during a fast, there is an increased risk of fluid imbalance and dehydration. The risk gets more complicated and severe the longer you stay on a fast or if you repeatedly go on fasts. So there's a lot of potential dangerous side effects that could come with fasting, and especially fasting for a long period of time, which it seems like Mark Lopez is doing under the watchful eye of Mark Wahlberg. Once again, I don't know the intricacies. I don't know the specifics of their fast. They could be doing the fast in a very, very safe way, but they're not showing that part on Instagram, which is kind of the dangerous part. And then it says, the bottom line is nutrition experts agree that fasting is a potentially dangerous and not particularly effective way to lose weight. Instead of a fast, opt for a healthy eating plan that you can stick with for long term. And healthy diets provide a minimum of at least 1,200 calories. Really shouldn't be that low anyways, and include a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairy, lean protein, and healthy fats, along with regular physical activity. If you are not convinced and want to go on a fast, be sure to consult your physician first. I mean, all these things are relatively kind of obvious, right? If you are going to go on a fast, you are going to drastically reduce the amount of calories that you consume. If you're consuming 2,000 calories per day and you go to consuming 0, obviously you're going to lose weight. And your body is going to want to attack your muscle first because it's, your fat is essential for living. So it's going to go for the muscle first. So being in the gym is, I think, what they're kind of doing to try to combat the body's innate kind of reaction to go for the muscle first. If they're in the gym, they can try to slow down some of that muscle that they're losing and try to primarily attack fat. So I think that's why they're having him go on this crazy 6-day fast and be in the gym hardcore. But of course, it's dangerous because he doesn't have the energy which he would typically get from eating food, from the calories that he eats. So it's kind of a crazy, crazy thing. So I think in this particular situation, like I've said 6 times already, I don't know the intricacies of what Mark Lopez is doing with Mark Wahlberg's doctor and all these crazy things. But it seems to me like a very extreme measure for a person who is already on a weight loss journey. In his Instagram bio, it said he started in November of 2018. So he's going on 2 years of being on this weight loss journey from 3X to fit, which is obviously a fantastic thing to strive for. And it seems like a very extreme measure to go to. I don't know if like Mark Wahlberg, is like pushing this guy to lose weight because it looks good for him. I don't know exactly what's going on in that particular situation, like I said. But it seems like an extreme measure. And there are going to be people out there that are in extreme situations that may need to take extreme measures. For most people, balance, longevity, sustainability are all things that you want to try to strive for. But if you're in a situation where your health is in imminent danger due to the amount of weight that you're holding, doing something extreme might be the only option that you have at that point. And a doctor will tell you that. Don't take that from me. Don't take that from anybody on the internet. Definitely go to your doctor for that. So there are situations where an extreme measure is warranted. I don't know if this is one of those situations. Mark Lopez looks like he was already on a journey to losing weight, and he was doing a great job of it. As far as I can tell, I don't know that much about Mark Lopez outside of Mark Wahlberg's Instagram. And I think the other thing to think about, for everybody to think about, is what is the reintroductory portion of this going to look like, right? When he gets to his goal, whatever the goal is for this particular fast that he's doing, what does it look like after that's over? Is he going to continue to fast for 6 days and eat on the 7th day if that's their goal? Is he going to kind of go back to his natural way of eating? Because if he does that, he's sure to gain some of that weight back. What does the reintroductory portion of this look like? And I don't know if that's something that they've thought about. And that's something that you should absolutely think about when you're going and you're trying to start a new plan. Once I get to the point that I want to be at, what happens next? Because that is just as important as getting to that spot, is keeping that spot. So definitely something to think about. Like I said, Mark Lopez and the doctor could be doing things perfectly above board, could be doing it in a perfectly safe manner. I don't know for sure, but Mark Wahlberg is not broadcasting the specifics enough to the 15, almost 16 million people that follow him on Instagram, which could very well set a dangerous precedent. I don't know what the goal is here. Once again, Mark Wahlberg is an advertising machine. He talks about every single one of his products and every single one of his Instagram videos. So I don't know what the overall goal is, but for 16 million people, almost 16 million people, to see these series of videos and think that this might pertain to them is a dangerous thing. So just something to think about as you're scrolling through Instagram. I'm still going to watch Mark Wahlberg movies, but I'm not going to take fitness advice from Mark Wahlberg anytime soon. Hopefully that kind of overarching theme can kind of spread a blanket across all of social media for you guys listening out there, that some of these people are going to go to extreme measures that maybe are not the best for you. So always something to keep in mind. But that wraps up that portion of the show, and hopefully the last time I ever talk about Mark Wahlberg on this podcast. The Q&A, 2 questions. Question number 1 is, what is the best training split? So I think I've talked about this in a previous episode as the episode topic, but for those who may not have listened to it, so the question is, what is the best training split? And there is no really best training split. General rule of thumb, major muscle groups, try to work them out at least twice a week. So chest, back, legs are kind of the major muscle groups. Shoulders, biceps, triceps, and if you want to throw calves in there, are kind of smaller muscle groups, not as important to hit as often, especially because you get some of that with the bigger compound movements that you do. You're going to get a little bit of shoulder, biceps, triceps, and things of that nature, along with your bigger muscle groups. So depending on who you ask, they might give you a specific amount of sets to try to strive for per week per muscle group. But regardless of any of that, you should have a training split conform to you and not you conform to a training split. So the most important thing to do is for you to set your own frequency. So how many days a week do you plan on working out, whether it be at the gym, whether it be at home? Once you set that, that will dictate the training split that you end up doing. So if you can only work out 1 day per week, you're super slammed, you're a busy person, but you want to emphasize your health, you can really only work out 1 day per week, you're going to do a full body workout. It doesn't make sense to do like an upper body workout 1 week and then the lower body workout the next week, because by the time you do the next upper body workout, it'll be 2 weeks from the last one. That's way too much of a gap for you to have. So to try to minimize that gap, you'll do a full body workout. If you're working out 2 days a week, that's still 2 full body workouts. That way you can work major muscle groups twice per week. So on and so forth. 3 days might be an upper, lower, and then a full body. 4 days might be upper, lower, upper, lower. The more days per week that you end up working out, the more focused your workouts can be on specific muscle groups. But that will come with after you set your frequency. So just because you go and you Google like a muscle building workout and you pull up muscle and fitness and it gives you a specific workout that gives you a specific split, don't try to follow that split. If it's a 6-day split and you can't work out for 6 days, you're never going to be able to kind of keep up with it, and you're going to maybe try to stretch it. You might do it for a week or two, and eventually once time becomes a constraint for you again, if you can't work out for 6 days a week, you're going to stop working out altogether. And it's always better to do something rather than nothing. So set your frequency first, then the training split will follow, and you can talk to a personal trainer. You can message me on Instagram, and I can kind of try to point you in the right direction. But always you set the frequency and then let the training split conform to you. That's going to be the best training split for you. And question number 2 is, what is the best exercises for your abs? So in the gym, I don't know if I see people really doing crunches anymore. More so people doing like weighted crunches. That's a new thing. And Russian twists. That's kind of the 2 main exercises that I see in the gym when I'm walking around and I see people doing abs. And kind of the problem with those 2 particular exercises is that there's a way to do those where your core is not really that engaged, right? If you're doing a crunch, you essentially, for both of those exercises, it's like traditional exercises where the muscle that you're working is going to initiate the movement. So in the crunch, your abs should technically contract to initiate that movement where you get off the ground. But there's ways to do it where your abs are not the main mover. You can use hip flexors, you can use momentum, that kind of detract away from the actual core working for a crunch movement. Even a Russian twist, if you're using a heavy weight, you're trying to use your core to move that weight, to move the medicine ball. I'm assuming you're doing it with a medicine ball. But there's ways to cheat that as well. So those are not maybe the best exercises for you to do when it comes to working out your abs. But when it comes to doing that, the one thing to think about is, what is the main function of your core? The main function of your core is to keep you upright, is to keep you in a neutral position. So when you're walking around, having a strong core keeps you upright, keeps you in that neutral position, versus if you had jelly for a stomach, jelly for core, you'd be swaying back and forth. Your body wouldn't be able to remain upright. Even me sitting in this chair, my core is what's keeping me upright. Of course, I have a backrest here, but if I didn't have the backrest, my core would be what's keeping me upright. If not, I would be falling backwards and forwards, and it would be a mess, right? And you guys wouldn't get consistent audio because I'd be swaying back and forth, swaying away from the microphone, swaying back towards the microphone. So picking exercises that really stress that neutral position might be better exercises than your typical crunch, than your typical Russian twist. So something like a plank is an anti-extension exercise. When you're in a plank position, if you let your core go slack, your hips go to the ground, right? That's technically extension of the back. So if your core is firing, you're in an anti-extension exercise. And even the plank is something that people can start to kind of rig a little bit so it's not so much core. The first video that I posted on TikTok, if you don't follow me on TikTok, it's at MTE Fit, is how to do a plank properly. There's a way to do it so that it puts more of an emphasis on your core, which is obviously what you're doing it for, is to emphasize your core. So that is something that, if you were interested in that, definitely go check that out on TikTok. I wanted to post it on Instagram, but there's copyright issues, obviously, by using songs on TikTok that you can't use on Instagram. So definitely check that out. But that's an anti-extension exercise. It is stressing the ability for you to remain neutral. You're using your core to remain neutral in that position when your body wants to put your back into extension. Even something like a pallet press, where you're using a cable machine or a band and you stand to the side of it, and you're technically perpendicular to the weight. You press perpendicular to the weight's either to your right or your left, depending on what side you're doing. The weight is going to want to rotate you back towards it, right? So if the weight's on the right side and you're pressing outward, the weight is going to want to pull you back to the right side, but you're firing your core anti-rotation. Your body wants to rotate. You're fighting the stress that is making you want to rotate. That is an anti-rotation exercise, the pallet press, which is just stressing that neutral state that you're in. That's an anti-rotation exercise. That might be more of a prime movement as well, on top of the traditional exercises. So something like anti-extension, anti-rotation, anti-lateral flexion. All these things are things that you can Google and start to look up that will hopefully put you in the right direction. But of course, you've got to be a certain body fat percentage to see those abs. So you can work towards having a really strong goal, but unless you're like under, let's say 20%, it might be 15%, it might be 17%, it might be 14%, depending on the person. Unless you're at a low enough body weight, you might not still see those abs. Think of like an NFL lineman. Those guys are obviously ridiculously strong, and they have crazy core strength because they're literally moving another gigantic human being. But they're all big boys. They've got to maintain a certain amount of weight in order to not get manhandled by another big gentleman on the other side of the line. So most NFL linemen are higher in body fat percentages. Not every NFL lineman looks like Aaron Donald. So they might have massively strong cores, but at a high enough body fat percentage, you won't see those abs. So obviously, bringing the body fat percentage down after you've done lots of core work will show the work that you've been doing. So thinking about a combination of those things is maybe switching up the exercises that you do for your abs, and obviously reducing body fat is all going to be super important. And last but not least, the weekly follow-up. Last week's episode was episode 25, was the 3 tips to bulletproof your goals. I felt pretty good about that episode. I think it's one of the better episodes of the Made to Excel Fitness podcast. But the one thing to kind of think about that I maybe didn't mention was tip number 1 is to be uber specific. And I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't do a great job. Is being uber specific means having a qualitative and a quantitative aspect to your goal. So the qualitative aspect is what you want to accomplish. The quantitative aspect is how much of it you want to accomplish. So the qualitative part would be like, I want to lose weight, I want to build muscle, I want to get stronger. But the quantitative part is what actually makes it an uber specific goal. Having just the qualitative part, saying you want to lose weight, build muscle, or get stronger, is having a specific-ish goal. Saying you want to lose 10 pounds, which is the qualitative and quantitative part of that, makes it uber specific. Saying you want to gain 3 pounds of muscle, gaining the muscle is the qualitative part, gaining 3 pounds of it is the quantitative part. Having those two things makes it uber specific. And once you have the uber specificity, that's when you can start to make actual actionable kind of things that you can work towards that will put you in a really fast track towards your goal. So, when you're thinking about losing weight, 3,500 pounds is 1 pound of fat. So if you want to lose 10 pounds, that's 35,000 calories that you have to be in a deficit in order to lose those 10 pounds. And over the course of how many weeks you want to do that will really start to give you a specific number, specific goals to hit that will help you maintain or help you achieve your goal in a specified amount of time. So definitely something to think about. Having the qualitative aspect of it and the quantitative aspect of it will really make you thrive and give you a good direction to go in versus having just a specific-ish goal where you just have the qualitative aspect. But that wraps up today's show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe wherever you're listening on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those fun places. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the 2 related videos here. I think you might enjoy them if you haven't seen them already. And the subscribe button down here. And as always, subscribe to the show, leave a comment, leave a review, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, slide in my DMs on Instagram at MTFit or send me an email at made2excelfitness@gmail.com. Follow me on TikTok, all that fun stuff. I love and appreciate every single one of you that listens to the show. Peace out, guys.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? Hunter Henry, LA Charger tight end. Best big time shout out to your fitness podcast, the Made to Excel Fitness podcast. So super cool, man. Got a lot going on. Bolt Ganger, don't bang.